Welcome to FZ Architecture. Today, we explore a fascinating residential project by SANAA, the Okurayama Apartments, a minimal yet innovative design that redefines urban living through transparency, fluidity, and spatial freedom. Let's dive into the concept, design, and impact of this remarkable work. Stay tuned. The Okurayama Apartments, designed by SANAA, are located in Yokohama, Japan. This residential project stands out for its unique approach to urban living, offering a balance between privacy and openness. Built in a quiet suburban neighborhood, the apartments respond to the local environment with a light, almost ethereal presence. Instead of traditional housing blocks, SANAA designed a series of interconnected volumes, creating a sense of community while maintaining individual privacy. The project embodies SANAA's signature style, minimalist, fluid, and deeply rooted in spatial experimentation. It challenges conventional residential design by blurring the boundaries between public and private, interior and exterior. But how does this concept translate into the actual design? Let's take a closer look at the layout and spatial organization. At first glance, the Okurayama Apartments may seem unconventional. Unlike standard apartment buildings with repetitive units, SANAA designed a composition of irregularly shaped volumes, each with a unique layout. Looking at the floor plans, we see how each unit is positioned at different angles, creating dynamic spatial relationships. There are no rigid corridors or typical divisions. Each apartment flows organically into the next, with natural light penetrating from multiple directions. The sections and elevations further highlight SANAA's approach. The varying heights and shifting volumes generate a layered effect, allowing for diverse ceiling heights and visual connections between spaces. Large openings and translucent materials enhance the sense of openness, blurring the boundary between inside and outside. This fragmented yet interconnected design fosters a sense of community while ensuring each resident maintains their own private space. Now, let's explore how these design choices affect the living experience inside the apartments. Now, let's break down the ground floor plan, highlighting the unique organization of each studio apartment and how their spaces will evolve on the upper floors. SANAA avoids a rigid, repetitive structure and instead creates 9 independent living units, each with its own form, size, and spatial logic. These apartments are carefully positioned to interact with the open spaces between them, blurring the boundary between private and communal areas. Unlike traditional apartment complexes, there are no centralized corridors or shared entrances. Instead, each unit has its own direct access from the landscape, reinforcing individuality while maintaining a sense of community. The pathways weaving between the buildings create semi-private outdoor spaces, allowing natural light and ventilation to flow freely. The program of the ground floor varies from unit to unit. Some apartments feature open-plan living and dining areas, while others integrate workspaces or even sleeping areas depending on their layout. However, a common theme among all is the fluid connection to the exterior, either through gardens, terraces, or large openings that invite nature inside. Each of these 9 studios will develop uniquely in the upper floors. Some units, like the blue and green apartments, will extend upwards into double-height spaces, creating a strong sense of openness. Others, like the red and yellow apartments, have more compact vertical organizations, incorporating intimate bedrooms and small mezzanines. The brown and gray units, positioned near the site's edge, will focus more on privacy, featuring enclosed spaces on the upper levels while still allowing controlled natural light. A key feature of SANAA's design is the integration of voids between the units, ensuring that light and air reach even the most enclosed apartments. These gaps create moments of interaction between residents, reinforcing the project's communal character. By breaking the conventional stacked apartment model, the Okurayama Apartments redefine urban living, offering spaces that are adaptable, personal, and deeply connected to their surroundings. Now, let's explore how these units continue to evolve in the second floor. Now let's move up to the second floor, where the 9 apartments continue to evolve, each following its own unique spatial logic. Unlike a conventional apartment building where each level is identical, here we see a more organic and adaptive distribution. The second floor doesn't just replicate the ground level. It introduces new functions, expands living spaces, and strengthens the relationship between private interiors and shared exterior spaces. In this level, most units develop bedrooms and more private areas, separating them from the more social spaces below. The distinction is not rigid. Many of these upper rooms remain visually connected to the ground floor through double-height spaces or voids, enhancing natural light and spatial fluidity. For example, the blue and green apartments, which had open living spaces on the ground floor, now introduce lofted sleeping areas or private rooms, maintaining a strong connection with the exterior. The red and yellow units, more compact in footprint, extend upwards with more enclosed bedrooms, ensuring privacy while keeping strategic openings for light. The brown and gray apartments positioned at the edges remain the most enclosed, prioritizing introspective and secluded living spaces. One of the most distinctive features of this level is how it integrates voids and semi-private terraces, allowing for vertical connections between floors and visual links between units. These spaces serve multiple functions. They provide natural ventilation, ensuring cross breezes throughout the apartments. They create visual transparency, making even the most compact units feel larger. They serve as shared outdoor extensions, fostering a subtle sense of community without compromising privacy. SANAA's approach ensures that no 2 apartments are identical, yet they all share a common architectural language. The fluidity of the curved walls, the interplay between enclosed and open areas, and the careful placement of windows and terraces all contribute to a design that feels light, airy, and seamlessly integrated with nature. This second level reinforces the idea that these apartments are not just stacked units. They are carefully interwoven spaces that offer a new perspective on urban living. Now let's move to the final floor and explore how the apartments culminate in their highest points. Reaching the third and final level, we can see how the apartments conclude their vertical development. Rather than simply stacking identical floors, SANAA carefully crafts each level to create a dynamic and ever-changing spatial experience. At this height, most units define their most private functions, such as additional bedrooms, small study areas, or even rooftop terraces. The way these spaces are arranged varies depending on the apartment's overall configuration. Only that 4 units extend upwards to include rooftop gardens or terraces, reinforcing the connection with nature. Others, such as the blue, gray, and purple apartments, use this level to create fully enclosed private rooms, ensuring maximum intimacy. A key design strategy at this level is the introduction of skylights and carefully placed openings. These architectural elements allow soft, diffused daylight to penetrate deeper into the lower floors, creating a sense of spaciousness, strategic ventilation, enhancing air circulation across all levels, controlled privacy, as upper-level windows are positioned to avoid direct views between apartments while still capturing exterior landscapes. Unlike traditional apartments where floors are rigidly defined, The Okurayama Apartments offer a more fluid, interconnected experience. From the ground level to the rooftop, each space feels like a natural extension of the one below, thanks to double-height voids, which visually connect different floors, curved transitions, eliminating harsh separations between rooms, a sense of openness where architecture and nature coexist harmoniously. With this final level, SANAA achieves a delicate balance between private living and communal openness, redefining what apartment living means in a dense urban context. Now, let's take a closer look at the project's materiality, construction details, and overall architectural impact. Now that we understand the spatial organization of the Okurayama Apartments, let's take a closer look at the materials and construction techniques that define the project's unique aesthetic and atmosphere. SANAA is known for its ability to create light, almost ephemeral architectural spaces, and this project is no exception. The materials chosen reinforce a sense of transparency and openness, enhancing the relationship between interior and exterior. Thin concrete walls give the building a smooth, almost sculptural appearance, reinforcing the organic nature of the design. Large glass openings maximize natural light and dissolve the boundary between private and communal spaces. Minimalist finishes inside the apartments maintain the purity of the design, ensuring that light and space take center stage. Given the project's fluid and fragmented geometry, SANAA had to approach construction with precision. The curved walls required advanced formwork techniques to achieve their seamless appearance. The integration of structural elements within thin partitions was carefully planned to maintain the project's sense of lightness. The transition between indoor and outdoor spaces was refined using floor-to-ceiling glazing, which enhances visual continuity while maintaining thermal comfort. These construction choices not only shape the aesthetic of the project, but also define how it is experienced on a daily basis. Now, let's explore what it's like to live in these spaces and how SANAA challenges conventional apartment design. One of the most fascinating aspects of the Okurayama Apartments is how they redefine urban living. SANAA challenges the conventional apartment model by creating a fluid, interconnected, and ever-changing experience. These apartments do not function as isolated units. Instead, they blur the boundary between public and private through soft, spatial transitions, offer a non-hierarchical distribution where every space is flexible and adaptable, enhance the connection with nature, making greenery an integral part of the daily experience. Living in one of these units means constantly interacting with natural light, framed views, and open voids. The apartments feel bigger than they are thanks to height variations that create a dynamic perception of space, transparency, and reflections, which dissolve rigid barriers. Subtle circulation flows, where movement between rooms feels effortless and organic. The Okurayama Apartments are more than just a residential project. They are an exploration of how architecture can shape human interaction. They demonstrate that density does not have to mean uniformity. They show that privacy and openness can coexist in delicate balance. They question traditional apartment layouts, offering an alternative that feels freer, lighter, and more human-centered. This project remains a reference in contemporary architecture, proving that residential spaces can be both functional and poetic. SANAA's Okurayama Apartments are a perfect example of architecture that challenges conventions. Through a careful balance of openness, privacy, and fluidity, this project transforms the way we think about apartment living. By using simple materials, soft transitions, and organic forms, SANAA creates a space that feels intimate yet connected, structured yet free. This project is not just a residential complex. It's an architectural experiment that continues to inspire architects and designers around the world. Thank you for watching this analysis on FZ architecture. If you enjoyed this video and want to see more breakdowns of remarkable architectural projects, don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications. See you in the next video.